Hey there, Papper people. Thanks for stopping by again. Welcome to my channel, The Lanky Lefty 27. I'm a registered polysomnographic technologist. I'm going to need your help on this one. What I'm trying to figure out is, do you require more pressure with a full face mask, meaning a mask that covers your nose and your mouth, versus a nasal mask or a nasal pillow mask? I have always told people you require the same amount of pressure with both. To me, the physics just makes sense. Pressure is pressure. It doesn't matter where it is. The amount of pressure applied to whatever the CPAP machine is forcing your airway open at a certain pressure doesn't seem like it should matter with a full face mask or a nasal mask. So let's dive into this a little more. And I really want to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Let me know if you've ever switched from a full face mask to a nasal mask and what your thoughts are and if your pressure requirements seem to change. For me, using a full face mask, it seems like the pressure feels less. Doesn't necessarily mean it is less. To me, it just feels less, which makes me feel like I need to increase it more. And when I was sleeping on my back with a full face mask, I noticed I needed to increase it to 12 centimeters of water. I typically sleep on my side, so for the last 2 nights, I made a concerted effort to sleep only on my back with 2 different nasal masks. I'll show you that in a second. Let's first check out the data. But first, I think I'm actually contractually obligated to try to sell you something. So let's take a look here. Head on over to cpapsupplies.com, the sponsor of this channel. I've already done the legwork for you. Whether you need a full face mask or a nasal mask, I've got those in my cart. This is, oh, that's cute. Basically, I've done the legwork for you. I have the Lanky Lefty, Lanky Lefty starter kit. This is my favorite full face mask. If I'm going to use one, I'm sick, I'm congested, I go to the Vitera full face mask. It seems to work pretty well if I have to use a full face mask. It's really comfortable and I don't have jaw drop with it. So it's great in that regard. So the Dreamport is another favorite. The reason I don't put the Bleep Eclipse in there is because it's technically not out, but I just used the Bleep Eclipse last night. That's going to be part of this video. And the next one I used the night before is the N20 Air Touch. That's by Resman. It's a nasal mask, memory foam. You'll see more on that later. But if you're looking to buy these, $386, that ain't going to happen. Old Lanky here is kind of cheap and kind of poor. Let's go ahead and apply that Lefty20 discount code. And because you're willing to suffer through my videos and this advertisement, you just saved yourself $77.20 if you want to get the Lanky Lefty starter kit. All right, guys, check out the sponsor of this video and this channel, CPAPsupplies.com. This is published in the National Library of Medicine, the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine. This actually poses the statement of oronasal masks require a higher pressure than nasal and nasal pillow masks for the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. I do have a problem with this study though, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go down to the chart. You guys are definitely welcome to check this out yourselves. In fact, I would suggest you do that. But what they did with this study, I feel like it's flawed. They took a bunch of people that used nasal pillows. They took a bunch of people that used nasal masks. They take a bunch of people that use full face masks. Oronasal is a full face mask. And they tried to compare them based on gender, based on age, based on BMI, body mass index, by neck circumference, by Epworth sleep scale numbers. And they tried to take all that stuff and put them in categories. They didn't take the actual person like Bob, Jeff, John, Joey, and have John, Jeff, whatever, Joey all try different masks and then see how they change. They took a group of nasal pillow masks, nasal masks, oronasal masks, all have the same or similar age, gender, BMI, neck circumference, and ESS scores, and they try to compare them that way. I think that's kind of a bad way to do it. I mean, it's probably easier to just take all those people and put them on different masks and see what their AHI did. The other problem I have with this in these studies is the way that they came to their conclusions of improvement in apnea hypopnea index. A lot of them used auto scoring, and the numbers that are reported by the CPAP or the PAP device that the people are using. I don't know how many times I've showed you this on my videos. That number, the AHI number, is terrible. It is a horrible metric to use. It is wrong more often than it's right. You get false negatives, false positives. It's just basically not right. Now let's take a look at another one. Now this one says Oxford Academic, so it's got to be hella smart. This one was a very low number. The conclusions were actually similar. Like it was basically the same kind of thing. The AHI was determined by the use of an auto titrating machine So I'm going to be using my own data, and what I did is I was trying out the Evora full face mask, and I was sleeping on my back because of some back problems. So supine sleep, full face mask, I found that I had to increase my pressure up to 12 to get good consolidated sleep. Now, ignore the total sleep time. What I'm looking at is quality of waveform. That's what I was going for, is quality of waveform. The quality of this waveform, even though it's for a shortened period, it's like 2 hours, very, very high quality. The days previous to that were not. It was chock full of respiratory effort related arousals and hypopneas. Now, some of you were super smart and you noticed that I typically use 9 centimeters of water and 10 centimeters of water when I'm on my side and using a nasal mask. So I've never tried sleeping on my back with a nasal mask that I can actually remember trying. So I did it for the last 2 nights using 2 different masks to see what I could come up with. So this was my full face mask night. Ignore the AHI of 0.42. And now let's check out the fourth. Now this, I was also using 12 centimeters of water, and this is using an N20. Now when I was wearing it, it kind of felt like too much. Make note of the leak. I was using tape on this night. I was taping up my mouth. This is all mask leak. I could feel it leaking by. So N20 AirTouch, it's the memory foam version. Let's take a look at some of the wave quality in here. And much of it looks, there's periods that look kind of like right there. I don't like this stuff. This stuff looks a little CPAP induced centrally. So it makes me think the pressure on this night may have been a little too high. However, it could have been from the mask leak. This is also appears to be REM sleep in this area. So I'm kind of going to give it a pass, but I just know that it felt a little high for me. Typically I have that feeling of, wow, this actually feels like it's just about right. It's holding my airway open. I can feel if it's my airway sagging a little bit as I'm getting comfortable and relaxing. Now here's a good example of why I don't trust the AHI. Why is it calling that a hypopnea, but not this or this or this? I mean, I'm glad it doesn't call all of them because that's REM sleep, but still it's super frustrating with this. Okay, so that's that night. So last night right here on October 5th, I used the Bleep Eclipse. Now the Bleep Eclipse isn't out yet. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. It's highly worth it. I'm going to do a short with my cat showing you kind of what it is. But let's take a look at this. Drop the pressure, and I stayed on my back all night long. By the way, check out the leak all night. There's not a leak in sight. Let's check out the signal quality. So right there, we actually have some waves right just prior to that arousal that look like there might be some either residual snoring, some vibration. There's another one. And it also looks like there may be some vibration in the airway just prior to that arousal. So that's at 10 centimeters of water. I might have to go up to 11. I mean, I would definitely recommend this. If someone were doing a PAP analysis with me on AXG Sleep Diagnostics, that is my website where I dole out advice in exchange for cash. So yeah, there's some markers here. We have some nocturnal sighs that are going on. There's several of them. And I'm seeing flat tops prior to arousals with possible snoring or at least vibrations in the upper airway. Yeah, that's pretty consistent. So I definitely need to go up to 11 if I'm gonna sleep on my back. So we are hot on the trail of this. I wanna know from you guys, do you think or have you experienced having to use higher pressures with a full face mask versus a nasal mask? As of now, I'm still undecided, even though there's plenty of literature out there that suggests you do need a higher pressure with a full face mask. I'm not there yet. I'm going to try 11 tonight on my back using, again, probably the Bleep Eclipse. Now, if you would like to have a PAP therapy analysis with you, I go over your data in great detail. A lot of people ask questions about the sleep consultation services. Now, I hate to mention this to you, but there's actually a video on the product page that tells you exactly what to expect, but we'll actually ignore that for right now and just let you know that if you do an Oscar PAP therapy analysis, that's actually a long session. That's like 45 minutes to an hour that I talk to you about your sleep. I get a history from you. I show you exactly how I evaluate these using your sleep. I show you things in your sleep to help you out and show you what to look for. I make some recommendations, you implement those recommendations, and I come back and we look at them again and even possibly make some more tweaks, more adjustments. Now, if you're doing the Sleep HQ analysis, which this picture, I don't know why it keeps coming up. If you do the Sleep HQ, that's like a one-time deal. I check out your data using Sleep HQ, also a free program, and I don't talk to you at all. I don't look you in the eye. We don't have a conversation. I just look at your data and I give you some recommendations via email. And if you're nice, I may or may not look at it again. But that's kind of like a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. A quick and dirty approach. I look at about 7 days roughly, but a much less expensive option. So that's more or less the difference between the two. I've heard people squawking about the price increase because yes, I did increase the price on it. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but at the grocery store, they've increased the price of food. So we're kind of all in the same boat together there. So yeah, I'm sorry. I had to increase the prices. I actually did a cost analysis, and by I mean my wife, my business partner, the one who actually has been tracking how much time I spend on these. And she had been saying all along, I'm charging way too little. And when she showed me the numbers, I had to agree. So trust me, you get your money's worth. I stick with you until we get it figured out. And hopefully the people that are watching this, that are doing it with me, can attest that if you're a complicated case, I've done 5 appointments with people. I've gone back and looked at it several times, and I don't ask for any more. So just let you know, you get a great service. I stand by my product. And hopefully you learn something and you get some good quality sleep. I know tons of people have. I just had someone say some really nice things this morning about it. So if you're not getting what you need to out of your sleep, your CPAP experience, your bi-level experience, your ASV, let me know. I'll take a look at it and we'll see what we can do to resolve any issues you may be having. That was hella long. We need to go back and say thanks to the sponsor of this channel. Once I try 11 and 12 potentially using a nasal mask, I will get back to you and let you know exactly what I think, but I'm really curious, what do you think in the comment section down below? Nasal mask, nasal pillow mask, full face mask, are your pressure requirements about the same? All right, thank you for watching, bye. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks buddy to Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Sarvesh Joshi, Stuart Hetherington, Mona Swearingen, Chungchu Chen, and Edward Steiner, as well as a big thank you to all my other Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Little tiny thanks buddy for you guys.